Economic growth has been revised downward. The local economy is expected to grow at 1.1% this year, down from an earlier expected 1.3%. It continues to be constrained by structural impediments, despite some improvements seen in energy supply and logistics. Things are looking slightly better going forward, with government saying it expects the economy to grow by 1.8% over the next 3 years, still low to make meaningful changes to socio-economic challenges. Government says the path to higher economic growth will be possible with improved energy production, reliable logistics and water supply, as well as stronger investments. It says it will transform its approach to public sector infrastructure by creating conditions to attract private sector participation.
Macroeconomic stability, which is that it creates a conducive environment as to grow this economy. Secondly, we need focus on state capacity. We make this reference to municipalities, not only a minor issue. Changing municipalities, how they function, state capacity is a critical component of making sure that we can grow the economy. Right? We also make reference to structural reforms. And these structural reforms are quite critical that they will help us grow. The fourth element is the infrastructure spend. Gradually, we're beginning to shift the composition of expenditure from consumption to capital investment.
Revenue projections for this year are weaker, revised downward by 22.3 billion rand. The National Treasury says to blame is the declining fuel levy and import value-added tax collections. Personal income tax is also expected to underperform, while an improvement is expected on the corporate income tax front.
The shortfall in revenue that is penciled in today is 22 billion, whereas the two-pot that has been penciled in is a lot lower than that. We are currently tracking higher than what is in the printed documents because it's live and it's updated every day, whereas the number that's in the Treasury assumptions is as at September, and it's a modeled number. Now we actually have actual numbers. And so we know that year to date, the two-pot withdrawals in total is about just over 29 billion of the amount that was withdrawn, against which just over 7.2 billion will be withheld as tax.
Government spending, on the other hand, is expected to grow from 2.4 trillion rand this financial year to 2.5 trillion rand in the next financial year. Debt remains a challenge, with high debt servicing costs taking up resources that could be used for other societal needs. National Treasury expects debt to stabilize at 75.5% of GDP in the next financial year.
If you look from a debt perspective, because of an increase in spending combined with lower tax revenue collections, there's an increase in debt. So there's a delayed fiscal consolidation, which is hinged on the possibility of better future performance of the economy, which in itself is not guaranteed. So overall, markets are likely to see this in negative terms. Rating agencies are also going to be quite cautious in terms of what they assess the future looking like, but overall they are unlikely to change any of the outlook.
Government strategy to achieve sustainable public finances going forward includes stabilizing government debt, controlling growth of the public sector wage bill, limiting further financial support of state-owned companies while supporting the most vulnerable through spending on social protection, health and education. To gain control of the public sector wage bill, government proposes early retirement without penalties for its employees. National Treasury says it will also release a discussion paper on fiscal anchors by the end of March next year in an effort to ensure debt sustainability and better public finance management over long term. Gloria Sefako Musi, SABC News, Cape Town.